ESPN FC live on a Sunday post-game from Old Trafford. Manchester United beating West Ham by 3-0. Mark Donaldson alongside Miguel Echegaray. We'll be joined shortly from Old Trafford by Rob Dawson. Before he's with us, though, Miguel, that was a very comfortable win for Manchester United. Once they got the first goal, there was no looking back for them.
Yeah, comfortable, the operative word there, MD. And I think that's exactly what Manchester United fans, Erik ten Hag, really wanted, despite the previous victory, which was a nervy one. This one was a professional performance, 3-0, as you said. And, so many good things to take away from this. Alejandro Garnacho with a man of the match performance. Everybody collectively did well. The Marcus Rashford off the field noise clearly gone now, and he played well as well. Højlund, who I think became the youngest player in the Premier League to score 4 consecutive Premier League matches, he's looking good. So it was great from that standpoint. A few issues. Licha Martinez came off. We'll have to see about his injury. But overall, the good news for Manchester United is that they get those 3 points. It was a good, solid victory, and they're closing in on getting that goal differential to a plus instead of a minus, and 6 points away now from Tottenham, who are in 5th place.
Yeah, I mean, what happens between now and the end of the season will take care of itself. It's just nice to be talking about the football when discussing Manchester United, and for their fans as well. And just as important, that's only their 3rd clean sheet at home this season.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's also very good because one was when Licha Martinez came in and Rafael Varane came on, he was focused straight up. He actually made a very good clearance from a corner, and it's good to see a solid unit. Actually, a good point you make there, MD, because Luke Shaw's return has been fundamental for Manchester United. Just his presence alone is so important, even when things are not going their way during the game. Because West Ham did have 22 shots, albeit not all of them were good, but there were opportunities, and Manchester United stood firm. So it's good to see that United, off the ball, on the ball, get this good victory. So, like you said, it's good to focus on the on-the-pitch situations for Erik ten Hag as United get those 3 valuable points.
Let's talk about the kids, because they are all right. They're more than all right. 21st birthday present, keys to the door for Rasmus Højlund. Took his goal really well. And then Alejandro Garnacho, we forget he's only 19, doesn't turn 20 until the summer. He's already represented Argentinian national side. That's 19 consecutive starts he's made for Old Trafford. This is something that we might not see the best of the kids right now, but if they can continue to play as often as they are and get results, this could bear some fruit for United in the next few years.
Absolutely. And he's actually the perfect type of player for Erik ten Hag, a project, right? As you mentioned, Alejandro Garnacho, so young, just about representing Argentina in different nationalities. Of course, Spain was the other option as well. But today he was fantastic. I know when I talk to United fans and, of course, our colleagues, the murmurs can often be that they're impatient with Garnacho because he's not necessarily consistent. But like, to your point, he's 19. He's a kid and he's still growing, but he has some serious cojones, my friend. He loves to go at players. He loves to attack and penetrate from width. And today, when he's on it, he's on it. And if this is going to be the continuation of Alejandro Garnacho for Manchester United, then the more better for it, because he's going to get better. He's going to learn from those around him. So fantastic stuff from Garnacho, 100%.
I thought we saw 2 Manchester Uniteds today. I thought we saw the Manchester United of late before they opened the scoring through Rasmus Højlund. A bit of fragility, a bit of kind of safe. Let's play it back or let's play it sideways. Let's just keep possession. Because you've got to remember, they have lost 4 of their last 9 Premier League games at Old Trafford. Prior to that, it was only 1 defeat in 30. But it was as if the shackles came off after the goal, and probably the second goal. That was it, right? We've got this freestyle. We've got this freedom now to play a bit of football. So how can they, going forward, knowing it's your boys Villa still to come in the league, they've got a couple of decent games, then they've got a Manchester derby coming up. How do we get that kind of playing with freedom like we saw towards the end of the game in the second half, rather than what we've had at times of late where it was a little bit cagey?
Keep those off-the-pitch noises away. Focus on the football. Focus on the training. focus on the collective. If Erik ten Hag can have his team 100% focused, and by the way, with a lighter schedule, right, leading up to the end of the season, then that's all going to be nothing but good news for United as they close in the table. One of the biggest issues for Erik ten Hag since he arrived, and actually it's not even his fault, it's something that he, earned once he became Manchester United manager, is that because there is such an imbalance in terms of age and certain players where we're not so sure of how they're doing, the likes of Harry Maguire, Varane, etc., Licha Martinez's injury, Bruno Fernandes's attitude sometimes. Those things can be real problematic when you're trying to just build consistency. But if you can build consistency, and if you can get the best out of the likes of Højlund, who's still so young, Marcus Rashford, who's an absolute talent, of course, Bruno Fernandes, who today, by the way, became the assist leader in Manchester United over Cristiano Ronaldo, which is quite something, then those things are going to help Manchester United build and become better. So as long as the focus is just in the football, then it should be good. But like you said, there are no easy matches in the Premier League, so you just got to stay focused and no silly mistakes, which is not what happened today.
Our intrepid northwest of England reporter, Rob Dawson, is live at Old Trafford. I don't think this one needed a rewrite, never mind the 3 rewrites that you had on Thursday. Very different game. It was routine after they got that opening goal. Rob, how was it for you covering that game, knowing you didn't need another couple of thousand words at the end? First of all, you need to come off your mute button for a start, because Old Trafford's never normally that quiet.
Yeah, I mean, lovely for me, but far more enjoyable, I would have thought, for Erik ten Hag, who just hasn't had afternoons like this at Old Trafford this season. Their first time they've won a home league game this season by more than 1 goal. We're obviously in February, and that tells the entire story of this season. Really routine, that the kind of result that perhaps we were used to when Sir Alex Ferguson was here, not one that we've seen very often this season. And lots of positives. A day when everyone's going to go away from Old Trafford thinking about the positives, thinking how positive it was that Højlund scoring, that Garnacho played well, that Kobe Mainoo, before he went off, played well. Obviously, quite a big downside in that there's an injury to Lisandro Martinez. We don't know how serious that is. Really, that would be quite a significant downside, given that all season Erik ten Hag has said when he gets players back, when he gets Martinez back, when he gets Casemiro back, Luke Shaw back, you're going to start to see the team as I envisage it. And we saw a little bit of that today. The hope is now that he can go on and start fielding his strongest team more often than not, that the last thing he wants now is another extended spell where he can't pick Lisandro Martinez.
Where are Manchester United right now? Because we saw in the game against Wolves, I was speaking to Luis Miguel about the fragility at times defensively. So that was huge to get a clean sheet, only their 3rd in the Premier League at home this season. Harry Maguire, incidentally, has won 13 of his last 16 games that he has started. They've got Villa to come. They've got Luton, I think it is, and Fulham. Then they've got the Manchester Derby. So where are they as far as kind of short to medium term is concerned ahead of what's to come for the rest of the season, Rob?
Well, I mean, as good as this result was, and as good as parts of the performance was, it's not going to change Man United fans' opinion about where this team are at right now. They're still going to go to Villa Park next weekend, and Man United fans are going to be worried about that. Mm-hmm. They're still going to go to Luton the following weekend, and Man United fans are going to be worried about that as well. What we've heard all season, what we've seen all season, is this is not a team that you can trust. And that is in part down to the injuries. It's hard to get any kind of stability with a team in team selection when you're having to chop and change players every week because players can't stay fit. But more than that, you just can't trust what kind of performance the team is going to put on the field. And while they've been very, very good today, it's been a very, very good result, a rare, comfortable day, as we just said, that it won't give Man United fans very much confidence that they can go and replicate that at Villa Park next weekend and then go and replicate it again at Luton Town. And the one thing that United have struggled, and it's not even just this season, it's ever since really the Carabao Cup final almost a year ago, is with consistency. And the top teams in the Premier League, whether it's City, Arsenal, Liverpool, are all very good at stringing these long winning runs together. They can win 6, 7, 8 games on the bounce. And United just haven't been able to do that. And there hasn't been no evidence that they are capable of doing that. Even now, you even saw at Wolves on Thursday that one of their best performances of the season in the first half was almost completely undone by a really ragged performance in the second half. So, it's far too early after this game against West Ham to start saying United are back, they've turned a corner, this is them now, they're going to go on this long, consistent run. We're just not there yet. United fans, despite the positives from today, will go to Villa Park next weekend and be panicked because they don't know what's going to happen.
Luis Miguel, West Ham, 6 games in 2024, and they haven't won a single game. Knocked out the FA Cup by Bristol City. They had Kudus away at AFCON. He's back now. He can create, but they're still without Paquetá. Should West Ham fans be worried?
Well, worried in the sense if they want to replicate what happened last season, of course, and trying to do something in Europe. I think the Kudus absence was significant. Obviously, he came back today, but they did have their chances today. They're just an interesting club because they did have 22 shots and some of them really could have been something. And there were moments in the game today where West Ham could have at least gotten something back and maybe get some kind of retribution towards that game at Old Trafford, but it didn't happen. I've always been worried about West Ham from an offensive standpoint. I feel that a lot of the time David Moyes' side relies so much on the solidity of the midfield, which is your point about Lucas Paquetá. And when he's not there, there's not enough creativity going forward. Then there's a few issues and wonders when it comes to going up front. Danny Ings is not going to be your answer. And injured Mikel Antonio is not going to be your answer. So you need a little bit more. I thought Edson Alvarez was a very, very good addition. James Ward-Prowse, of course. Calvin Phillips today, by the way, was his mistake that gave away that last goal. So it's going to take him time to adjust. But yes, I think West Ham need probably a little bit of and you would have thought that this would have happened in the winter break, but there's no time anymore. They need to get it going. Otherwise, those good games that were happening about a month ago will going to keep dropping down, and West Ham could end up being 11th or 12th.
Rob, just before you go to the post-game press conference, now that the transfer window is closed and Manchester United have got a week before they go to Aston Villa, what's going to be the focus for Erik ten Hag, and what's going to be the focus for Jim Ratcliffe and those behind the scenes now? Because we can put to bed for one side players coming in and out. The hard work really starts now for Jim Ratcliffe behind the scenes. What's the kind of order? What's the to-do list looking like off the field for United right now?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's going to be a really crucial few months now. Obviously, they've got their CEO in Omar Barada. That's been confirmed, and he will join in the summer. All the noises from Ineos and the people around Sir Jim Ratcliffe is that it's going to go from the top down. So you've got your top guy in Omar Barada in. Next is a sporting director, and then it's going to be a head of recruitment. And then you start looking at who the manager is going to be, and then what the squad is going to look like. And I say who the manager is going to be because I don't think it's completely nailed on that it's going to be Erik ten Hag next season. Obviously, it's been a pretty poor campaign so far. There's been quite a lot of questions about the manager, his tactics, his in-game management, his recruitment. There are all these eyes now on Erik ten Hag, and probably he's got till the end of the season to prove to Sir Jim Ratcliffe that he is the guy for this job going forward. Obviously, he came in to this season with a lot of credit in the bank after what he achieved last season, but that only goes so far. They've had some really miserable results this season. There's a chance that they're not going to qualify for next season's Champions League. They may end the season without a trophy if they can't win the FA Cup. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that Sir Jim Ratcliffe goes, well, I'm the new guy in charge of the football operations at Old Trafford, and I want to bring my own man in. There's already sort of noises around the likes of Graham Potter, someone that he tried to entice to his French club Nice last summer. And unless results start to pick up really, really quickly and really, really positively, those questions and those debates around who the manager should be aren't going to go away. So effectively now Erik ten Hag is on trial. He's got between now and the end of the season to prove to Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe that he should carry on. If the results carry on in the same vein and they win one and then lose two and then win one and lose two, chances are that he's going to be relieved of his duties and Jim Ratcliffe is going to be looking for a new manager. So you're right, January window is shut, but a really crucial few months now in how this new potentially bright future at Man United is going to get shaped.
Good stuff from Rob. Decent perspective as well. Thank you to Rob Dawson. He's going to head to the press conference now, and his full-time report will be available at ESPN.com.